Okay, well, good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for jumping on our Team Plantstrong Monday night call. My name is Nicole Fischer, and I am hosting this call this evening because our lovely leader, Michelle, has just had a beautiful baby girl. I don't know if you guys saw that, but Brooklyn Elizabeth is here, and we are filling in and hosting these team calls for the next couple of weeks to give her some maternity leave. So I'm excited to be on tonight. I am a sales coordinator with the Juice Plus company, and I'm going to be letting you guys hear from a couple of other people that are leaders on our team this evening as well. So I named this talk tonight, Just Do It. And we're going to be talking about stepping into the uncomfortable, which is maybe a fear or an obstacle or an insecurity that will lead a lot of massive growth in your paycheck and in your team building. So for most of us, for many of us, we really are the only thing that is standing in the way of our very own success. So we're going to do a little exercise tonight. I'm going to have you guys grab a piece of paper and a pen. And you're not going to share this with us. You can write it on your phone, or it's a fun exercise. So grab something that you can write on, and I'm going to ask you guys to think about something. So I want you to really think about what your goal is with your Juice Plus business. Is it a time freedom? Is it a financial goal, whether it be a dollar amount or even financial freedom? Is it a health goal or a health freedom that you have with your Juice Plus business? Or is it even just living a life that you get to create on your own terms? So I want you to go ahead and write that down. What is your large umbrella goal with your Juice Plus business? And once you've written that down, then I want you to think about this. I want you to think about a fear or an obstacle or an insecurity that might be standing in the way of being where you want to be in your business. So, is it a fear of failure, or a fear of success, or a fear of what people may think? Is it a time obstacle that's standing in your way? Is it an insecurity of feeling inadequate? Maybe not feeling like you're good at this, or even not being good at sharing the business. So I want you to write your top 3 things that come to your mind, whether it be a fear, a failure, or an obstacle. So go ahead and put those down. Like I said, you're not going to be sharing this. This is really just for you. It's a little exercise for you. Okay, and we are just going to sit with this for a minute, and I want you to keep this in mind. Make sure that Trisha's on. Sorry guys, I'm definitely on a different computer tonight, so bear with me if I do things a little bit like I wouldn't normally. We're going to hear from a couple of our leaders, and the first leader we're going to hear from is Trisha. Trisha Nelson is a mom of 3 from Booker, Texas. And she has been with the Juice Plus company for almost 2 years. So at the end of April, it will be 2 years. And she started both the product and the business at the very same day. She is currently a senior sales coordinator, and she is working towards qualifying national marketing director, or QNMD, by summertime. So I am going to ask Trisha to come on, and what I've done is I've asked these ladies to think about either a fear or an obstacle or a stumbling block that they had to kind of walk through, and what it is that they did with their business that brought them either success with their own personal paycheck or with their team. So I'm going to let Trisha share with us.
Trisha, hi guys.
Yay, there she is.
Thanks, Nicole. Everybody hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. All right, well, I'm a little nervous. I wrote down a lot of things I want to say, but I'm not very good at following notes, so I'll probably get off and then get lost and then probably not say half the stuff I want to say. But I have kind of been thinking, honestly, well, first of all, let me say, because this is kind of part of what I want to say, and I really feel like there's different seasons in this business, and I just want to encourage you all with that. I didn't know that going in, because I started out I hit the ground running and I was just cruising right along, and then I hit my major speed bump, and I wasn't expecting it. I just, you know, I just want everybody to know there are seasons. There are ups and downs in this business. There are times when you're crawling. There's times when you're walking. There's times when you're jogging. There's times when you're sprinting. And it's totally normal. Everybody goes through them. I think everybody goes through them. But especially if you're starting out, I just try not to get discouraged because it's very normal and it happens to everybody. I made it to senior sales coordinator in 11 months, and here I am almost 2 years in, and I'm still at senior sales coordinator. So that kind of tells you right there. I started out cruising, and then I totally just, and I honestly kind of feel a little bit like I'm getting back in one of those crawling spots when really I need to be in a sprinting season right now because I have big goals to meet, and I really, really need to meet them. I do home daycare, and right now it's kind of ideal because I have all teachers' kids, but at the same time that means I don't have any kids in the summer, and so I got to get my Juice Plus check in gear or I'm going to be hurting this summer. So but that's one of the things that I wanted to say, that there are different seasons in this business. And so when Nicole asked me to share, I was a little hesitant because I feel like I'm in one of my crawling seasons, but I really got to get it back up in gear. I actually came off a really super strong January and February, and so I think it just feels disappointing when you're coming off this really good momentum and then all of a sudden it comes to a screeching halt. But probably the biggest thing that I want to just tell you guys is that you have to get out of your comfort zone in this business, and that was my biggest fear and the hardest thing for me to do. And I don't know why when I started out that wasn't a thing for me, because I think I was I don't know, I was excited about the product, and I think I just started telling everybody and was really confident, and then I don't know, I started to get in my head. Once I reached all these people that I was comfortable reaching, then it was all of a sudden, okay, now I have to learn to get out of my comfort zone and find a way to talk to these other people. And you have to just directly talk to people. And I find that it's so much easier to talk about the product than it is to talk about the business. And that's kind of been a struggle with mine. I don't have a lot of problem getting customers. I have no problem talking about the product because I'm very confident. I know the product, and I know that if I don't know, I know people that do know, or I have resources or different things that I can use to find the answers I need. And it's just so much harder for me with the business, and it takes a lot more getting out of my comfort zone. I don't know what that looks like for you. For me, one major thing was live videos. I had never gone live, had no desire to go live, and it was very outside of my comfort zone. Like one time was sharing on a family freedom project. I was scared to death to go live and share my story. And another one was even having a salad party. Just things like this were little things that were just outside of my comfort zone. And it's because I was scared to fail, and I was scared, I'm a control freak, and I just want to know how things go. I don't want to chance it and see if I might get shot down or if I might make a fool of myself. But I promise you this, every time I've gotten out of my comfort zone in this business, it has paid off. And not always necessarily that I got a new customer, I got a new teammate. If that isn't the case, then I grew as a person, and I learned something, and I learned, hey, I can do this, or hey, it isn't as hard as I thought, and then it makes it that much easier next time. So I really, really encourage you guys just to get out of your comfort zone and do those things that you're scared to do and that you don't think you can do, because I promise you can do them. What else? See, that's exactly what I thought I was going to do. I kind of got off on my notes here. And then just as far as my team, I have a great, super strong team, and I got really, really lucky, honestly, because the way it fell for me is one of my teammates fell out of the picture, and I got to pick up her teammate under her, who's a super rock star, Jen. So I kind of got lucky in that. The rest of my teammates I had to work a little bit harder for. And so I want to tell you, with your team, we have to teach them to duplicate, and we have to do what we expect them to do. If we expect them to get customers, we have to be getting customers. If we expect them to have so many conversations a week, we need to be having that many conversations a week. We need to lead by example. And also, it's really important to build your team's confidence. Sometimes, for me especially, I doubt myself a lot, and I don't think I can do things. And I have Michelle over here in my ear saying, Trish, you can do this. Trish, you are this. You are that. And she's always encouraging, always building me up. And I'm not the greatest at that, but I do know that I have had those conversations sometimes, and people, when they don't believe in themselves, if they see that somebody else does, it really lights that fire under them. And sometimes it just takes tough conversations. You know, some of those team, you might find somebody and they're all excited and then they fall off really quick and they lose the steam, and you feel like you're dragging them along and pulling teeth to get them to do something. You know, you can only do so much. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. But if you get to that point, you need to be able to have those tough conversations. Just lay it out on the table. Look, here's the deal. I know this business. I know the tried and proven method. So here's what I want you to do. I either want you to on board or tell me, just to be honest. You don't have to be mean about it, but hey, I'm here if you need me. I'm here when you're ready to sprint, or if you need me to back off, tell me to back up. But just get it out there. Open up, have that conversation so you can find out where your team's at. And that's happened for me more than once. I got one girl to sales coordinator and she totally fell off, and then she basically told me, hey, I got too much going on in my life. I'm going to have to step back. But at least we were on the same page, and I quit being frustrated with her and spending so much time on her that was not going anywhere. And then I had some others that I wanted to give up on, and I talked to them and finally had that conversation, and guess what? They both made it to VF in a month's time after we had that conversation. So it's just about communication, building up your team, being on the same page. And I feel like I just totally threw that all over in like a big mess, and it made no like rhyme or reason, but hopefully you guys got what I was trying to say and got the picture. And one last thing really quick, Shasta had told me this week that she watched The Secret on Netflix, and I put it off because that's what I do. That's how I roll. So I watched it earlier today, and I actually didn't even finish the whole thing. But if you do have time, it does have some really good wisdom in it. And so the one really great takeaway from that is the law of attraction. It just was asking, what are you attracting? If you're a positive person on Facebook or around people when you go to ball games or your kids' events or at school or whatever, people are attracted to that. If you're negative and you're a Debbie Downer and you're always posting negative things, people notice that as well. So just be somebody that is attractive to other people, that somebody wants to be a part of what you're doing because you project that you're happy and you're loving your job and you're loving life. And, so just think about what you're attracting. So I will quit rambling now. I think I went too long, Nicole, but thanks for letting me share.
It was great, Trisha. Thank you. I know stepping out of your comfort zone, I mean, even being on this call tonight and talking is out of my comfort zone. And I know you mentioned it is for yours as well. So good job leading by example. Okay, so we're going to take a look at that list that you guys made just a minute ago of your either fears, insecurities, or obstacles that you wrote down for your business. And if you wrote down fear, I want to tell you this acronym that I want you to write down for fear. It stands for false evidence appearing real. So fear is false evidence appearing real. Fear is a lie. There's a great song called Fear is a Liar that is out right now. But it is true. When you look at your fear that you wrote down, I want you to think about what is bigger, the fear or the goal that you wrote down right before that, which might be your time freedom, your financial freedom, your health freedom. I want you to take a look at both of those, decide which one is bigger, and go ahead, because I know your goal is bigger, go ahead and just X out the fear that you wrote down, if you wrote that down as one of your hindrances. Okay? So this is just a little fun exercise. You'll see it at the end. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce our next speaker, Jenny Cohodes. She lives in Austin, Texas, and she is a die-hard Longhorn fan. She is married to a chiropractor, and they have 2 kids together, Madison, who's 4, and Max is just about to be 2 this week. She made sales coordinator in the first 6 months of her business, and then it took her 2 years to get to senior sales coordinator. So she is currently working on QNMD, and she wants that by this summer. So I'm going to go ahead and let Jenny come on and share her wisdom with us.
Hi, can you guys hear me? Awesome. So thank you, Nicole, for having me on here. I was also nervous when you asked me, similar to Trisha, because I don't know if I could come down with, just 1 or 2 answers. It was really hard, actually a lot harder to think of, she really asked us, what's like one thing that has totally, kind of revolutionized your business to earn a higher paycheck and build a bigger team. And it took me quite a while to think of it. And even just hearing Trisha speak, I wrote down literally like 3 other things that I would have added to my list. So I think it's always just a work in progress. And I'll also mention, I do think it is sometimes a little bit unique to the person. What I really needed maybe isn't the same for you. And so I'll actually start with, which I'm actually kind of going rogue here for a second. This was not on my list until I heard you guys speaking, but I think honestly, one of the most important things is a mindset of abundance. A mindset of abundance, really telling yourself that there's more than enough. There's more than enough people to talk to. There's more than enough people who will be interested in your team. There's more than enough opportunities, and really allowing that to, when that law of abundance kind of fills you up, you feel safe knowing that the answers will eventually come to you. That was part of my story, was I reached sales coordinator right off the bat, and then things took a major halt for me for 2 years. Just like Trisha mentioned too, I had teammates, one of my teammates now, Christina Turner, for the first 2 years was like, no, I don't really want to do this. And then, now she kind of comes back again and is one of my rock stars. Jillian White, who's on here, she told me no like 4 times before she joined my team. But, I've really been working on this mindset of abundance over time, and thinking, praying that, the answers will come to me, has been really, really key. And I think, I'm sure that goes back to Trisha's movie with The Secret and the law of attraction too. So kind of going rogue there for a second with my first answer, but I do think that's really, really important. So these other 2 reasons I really planned out well. So because they were important to me, and I'm also in the Brene Brown course right now, the deep dive course. I've actually already done her course, and I'm doing kind of the continuation. And I have to say, probably one of the most influential things in my business was really learning some of her strategies. So I learned a strategy to recognize and recover from those rough patches that we all have in our business faster, and then went on to try and teach my team that as well. So whether you're new and you haven't really seen this yet, or whether you've been with the business for a while, this is a relationship business. This is a people business, which means it's emotional. And that's okay, but there's waves of emotion. And so you're going to have some super high highs, and you're going to have some really low lows. And something I've noticed about myself, about others on our team, is that when we're really in a rough patch, or, maybe we've just heard a no that really stung, or someone or something that completely, knocks you off your feet, it's very easy to start telling ourselves a terrible story, that is completely untrue, usually untrue, and allows our fears and our shame to just swallow us up and just, I like to say, bench ourselves. Do you guys have anyone on your team who has benched themselves indefinitely? Or, like this has happened to me a couple times, where something happened to them, they had a couple upsets and they've benched themselves. But the crazy thing is, this story that we tell ourselves, after a rough patch or after something bad happens in our business, like I said, is usually not true. And do you know why? This is so interesting. And what I've really learned from a lot of these Brene courses is, in the absence of data, we will always make up a story. Any story with missing data is filled in with our own fears and beliefs. Our brain asks us for a story, and this is the kicker, our brain always chemically rewards us for that story that we're giving it. So you have some information that's missing, your brain will make up a story no matter whether it's true or not. And the problem is that your brain starts to reward you whether it is accurate or not. So we have to stop that flow of misinformation. It's really, really dangerous. And the reason why people start to get in their heads and start to tell themselves things like, I'm annoying everyone, no one wants to hear what I have to say, I'm really bad at this, I can't do this. I'm not meant for success anyway. I don't have my act together. I'm not, all of those just nasty, nasty stories are really not true. And so, Brené Brown calls it the Rising Strong process, and it's 3 steps. So first step is recognizing, being willing to reckon with your emotions, notice them, investigate them. Like, what am I telling myself right now? Which kind of goes into step number 2 is rumble with that. Like, literally ask yourself, like, what false beliefs might I need to uncover right now? Like, what kind of harm am I doing? What am I telling myself right now? And then number 3 is really kind of revolutionizing and rewriting that story. So she highly suggests writing out, she calls it your shitty or stormy first draft that plays through your head when something unfortunate happens or something bad happens in your life, in your business, whatever. Write it out. Literally write it out. That has been so powerful for me, and something I do in my coaching calls. Jillian and I just did this a couple weeks ago. It's like, what are we telling yourself right now? So that has been huge for my business. And then let's see what else. So just kind of along those lines, like I said, then really teaching my team to do that, teaching my team to, ask themselves, what are you telling yourselves right now? Writing it out. Because what I've noticed is the people who really start to catch on to that, the people who are the most then resilient and then the most successful because they're willing to persevere. They're willing to persevere through those sucky days, and they're able to rumble and uncover some of those false stories. So I'm like totally in a rumble right now. I have like 2 or 3 of my really close mom friends who've like ignored my messages about coming to my mason jar party tomorrow. And like a whole slew of things are just going through my head right now. I'm just like, they don't like me, what's going on, and just stopping that has really helped me to kind of move forward with my business. So, that has been probably the main thing. And then I'll finish up super quick, so I know I'm running out of time. The last thing has been really embracing the in-person event. So we have really tried to stop the fluff, as someone else coined that before, of spending a lot of time doing social media or writing tons of Facebook scripts, which Facebook parties are great, don't get me wrong, but we've really tried to embrace the in-person event and always making sure that those in-person events have a strong call to action. The call to action at the end of the party has been huge and really allowed our whole team to place orders on the spot and get people excited on the spot. So I'm actually going to be hosting the call next week, and that is the whole theme, is embracing the in-person event and really having massive action being taken. So thank you guys again for having me on here. Thank you, Nicole, so much, and excited to hear from Catherine.
No, that was great, Jenny. Thank you so much. I just want to say that the Brené Brown Brave Leaders program is available to those who fast track to sales coordinator. So that's an awesome benefit to focus on if you're not at sales coordinator level. I'm not sure if you can slow track to sales coordinator to be a part of the program, but it's definitely exciting. I'm going through it right now, and the training has been phenomenal. So thank you for sharing so much your wisdom, Jenny. So,
one thing I was going to add real quick, Trisha, if you don't, or sorry, not Trisha, Nicole, so many people. If you're not in the class, I would highly suggest, if you want to get started on some of her work, pick up her book, Daring Greatly and Rising Strong. Those are very parallel to her program and have a lot of the same lessons. So I would start there if you're really interested.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Okay, so you guys, we're going to go back to our little list. Can you guys all hear me okay? All right, go back to your list, and if you wrote down, sorry, my computer there. Okay, so take a look at your list, and did you write down any insecurities that are standing in your own way of growing your own business? If you wrote down an insecurity, I want you to listen to this. This blew my mind a few years ago when I realized this. An insecurity, you're actually more self-focused rather than others-focused. So when you think about what the mission of your own business is, and what the mission of the company is, which is to inspire healthy living, it's not about you as the individual. It's actually about the people. So if you are feeling insecure about something, if you're feeling insecure and that's getting in the way of your business, I really want you to ponder that and try to come to that grip with insecurity is really more self-focused than it is others-focused. So see if you can take your focus onto the people that you're really trying to help and see if you can get over that hurdle with that. So if insecurity was one of your things, I want you to take your little list and just cross it off. Whatever it was, just X off that insecurity. And we are going to go on to Catherine. I'm going to introduce Catherine Pompeo. Catherine is in Dallas, Texas. Sorry, guys. She is in Dallas, Texas, and she has been with the Juice Plus company for almost 4 years. She is a sales coordinator, and she is growing her team to a QNMD team by the end of this year. So I am excited to get to hear from Catherine.
Hey guys, so I forgot to tell her in the intro, I am also a personal trainer. I quit my job exactly a year ago this week from corporate America and started doing the Juice Plus full-time and personal training part-time. So I am moving around the gym. Here's where I work. Say hi. I have to clean up because I literally just finished a shift, and if I don't clean up, then I'm making the other person wait. But Nicole asked me to get on this call, and I did not want to miss out on the opportunity to share a little bit of my story. And before I forget, Nicole, you can slow track to sales coordinator and still be invited to the Brene Brown. You're just kind of after the folks at Fast Track. Hold on a sec. You're after the folks at Fast Track, because I've slow tracked to sales coordinator, and I got my email confirmation this week to invite me to the Brene Brown series. You guys, 2 seconds. Hold on. Reach right down here. This button, this right here. Sorry, I think I just showed you all my boobs. But no, okay. So here's the 2 things I wanted to share. Whenever Nicole was asking me kind of what are some of the obstacles I've overcome in the last almost 5 years with the Juice Plus company, because as she mentioned, I'm a sales coordinator. So, Trisha and Jenny, just being completely real, they've been in this shorter than I have and qualified a little bit farther, right? So they're at senior sales coordinator and I'm just a sales coordinator. So there could be a lot of lies and stories that come in there as well about, hey, well, why aren't I where they are yet? Such like that. And I think Jenny hit it on the nail, explaining her stuff. But I wanted to show you guys that everyone has a different journey to whatever your goal might be, whether it's NMD or whether it's just having a little bit of extra income. And so for me, the 2 things I learned were this. Surround yourself by people that are like-minded. You are the 5 people that you spend the most time with. And for me, what that looked like was in the first few years, really the first 3 years I was with the Juice Plus company, I was in a lot of really bad relationships. Verbally abusive, physically abusive, codependent, you name it. And I didn't realize how much they were impacting my business. I thought I was handling it from the outside looking in. I think everything looked really great, but I didn't realize that I didn't have any energy at the end of the day to build a business. I was just trying to manage my own life. And I know that you guys probably have team that might not have the exact reason why, but they're empty at the end of the day. And that makes it really hard to grow a business. And so there's a saying that you are the 5 people you spend the most time with. And so if you would like to grow a business, spend time with people that are growing their business. The people that are on this call right now that are actively wanting to grow, make it to conference. Spend time with those people. Become friends with them. They don't have to live in your same city. None of the people on the call today that are speaking are in the same place yet. These are people I talk to on a weekly basis because I want to spend time with like-minded people, and I want to spend time with people that are going to lift me up, because when my tank is full, I can build and help others grow theirs. Does that make sense? So that was definitely one of my first lessons, and it took me 3 years, y'all, to figure that one out. So each his own when it comes to the journey. And like Jenny and Trisha said, they started out really fast. I slow tracked to sales coordinator and started out really slow because I had to learn that story myself. And then, oh, sorry, I'm like trying to clean and do this at the same time. And then my second thing that I wanted to share was get good at the daily activities and separate yourself from the emotions. And I've heard most of what Trisha and Jenny were saying while I was cleaning up, and it was really interesting how we didn't know what each other were going to say, yet we've all kind of had the same thread of information. I think that's super powerful. So I hope you guys hear that message. We teach and we talk about the daily method of operation, your DMO. You got to separate your emotions from the DMO. You got to do the daily activities, those high income producing activities, whether you feel like it or not, whether you got to know or not, because all the work you put in, drip, 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 will build the garden of whatever that goal is that you're going for. But it doesn't happen overnight. You know, you might have an amazing January and then February's one of your worst. Still do the work, still do the daily activity in February, because guess what? March is coming and you might harvest in March. You don't know. You never know what conversation is going to take you there. You have to have that daily method of operation, and you have to be able to remove yourself emotionally from the outcome and know that, hey, my mission is to inspire healthy living. My mission is not to get to a yes or no necessarily. My mission is to inspire healthy living, and I'm going to go through the daily activity of doing that no matter the results, because almost similar, if you are a believer, almost similar to the gospel and preaching the message, you think about all the apostles. They went out and spread the word. It wasn't their job to necessarily make that person change their mind or make that person believe, right? Their job was to spread the message. And if you believe in our message, your job is to get out there and spread it, whether or not the person says yes at the other end of the phone, at the other end of the face-to-face event. So find your style, find your daily activity, and then stick with it no matter what it is. And surround yourself with people that are going to build you up and people that are going to encourage you, and like-minded people that you're going to want to be like, and they will drip on you while you're dripping on others. So those are really my two takeaways, and I think it's really cool that Trisha and Jenny had similar things to say. So I'm glad I could participate. I'm going to put myself back on mute and finish cleaning. So bye, guys.
Thank you, Catherine. That was awesome. Thank you for taking time. I know it was really close to you just teaching a class or something and closing up the gym. So thank you so much. Words of wisdom for sure. Okay, so I want you guys to take a final look at that list that you have. And if you wrote down an obstacle, I want you to, sorry, I was making sure she was muted because I'm on a different computer here. So if you wrote down an obstacle, I want you to take a look at it, and let's talk about really what an obstacle is. An obstacle really is just something standing in the way of progress, okay? So it's a challenge to be conquered. So if you're feeling like you have an obstacle, whether it be a time or a physical or a mental obstacle that's just in the way, please get with your upline, with your sponsor, and let's they will help you create a plan to remove this obstacle, because there is always a way. It's just sometimes you can't see it when you're right in the middle of it. So if obstacle was one of your hindrances, go ahead and just X that out, cross that off, okay? So what you're really left with after you take a look at those three areas, you're left with your goal. Your goal is the very top, what you're looking for in your business. So go ahead and take that goal and big circle it. I want you to circle the goal, whatever you're looking for in your business. This is your desired outcome. Okay, so what Catherine was talking about with your DMO, being prepared and having a plan of action will allow you to train your mind to overcome any negative emotions that are standing in your way. Daily method of operation. If you don't have one in place, again, work with your upline and they will help create one that will work for you. And you know what? You're going to change it periodically. You're going to find some things work and then you're going to need to change it based on life or kids or whatever. It's okay to change your DMO. Just having one and having a system in place to work with is really important. So one thing that I've learned is that our minds are capable of being changed by the power of a thought. Okay, so I would encourage each of you to create some I am statements for your life and for your business. When you write these positive affirmations, place them somewhere in your house that you can see them and that you can say them to yourself every day. Mine was on a board, and when I'm brushing my teeth in the morning, I'm looking at those I am statements, and so I'm just reading them to myself because it's creating a neural pathway that's creating change in your mind. So the more you tell yourself that you can be successful, the more you will start to believe it. This is really powerful. I kind of thought it was a little bit weird at first, but it actually does work and it is true. So some of the things you might say to yourself is just some examples, like, I am brave, I am a leader, I am a great friend, I am creative, I am confident, I am a sales coordinator, if that's your goal, or I am a national marketing director. I have said that so many times. I am a national marketing director. Just to hear that and just to say those words and to get that motivation internally to keep going for the goal that I have, right? And then for my kids, I will have them repeat after me in the car on the way to school. I am loved. I am chosen. I am forgiven. I am a leader. I am gentle. I am kind. I am courageous. And you know what? You can see as children, you can see their little demeanor just change almost instantly after having you repeat a few truths over their life. They start to believe it. The anxiety just melts away. So when we say it to ourselves as an adult, the same response happens. So what we say to ourselves becomes our truth. It's very, very powerful. So when you're feeling, this hindrance and standing in the way of your business, I want you to just name the thing that's stopping you from the success that you want. Write out the goals that you have, make your DMO, and then just go out and do it. Watch your goal become your reality. And that's what I wanted to share with tonight. I just had this excitement in me. I wanted just all of us to know that whatever it is that we set our minds to it, we can do it. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, Trisha. And thank you, Catherine, for getting on and sharing your stories with us. I don't want to go too long. So I hope that you guys have a great evening. And thank you so much for joining the call tonight.
Hey, Nicole.
Yes. Any questions?
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to add in one more thing real quick because I'm the one that told Trisha about the secret, and I just want to say when I watched it last Wednesday, I literally haven't been the same for the last 2 days. Sorry about the babies in the background. But one thing that I started doing was saying my positive affirmation in the present tense right when I'm going to bed. And I have noticed differences every day since then. Like, I'm getting chills just talking about it. Like, it really does change your thought process, and it changes your subconscious, and your subconscious runs 95% of your thoughts every day, and you don't realize it, but because that's just your brain's programming. So doing this at night has made such a huge difference. So I just wanted to put that out there. And also doing a gratitude journal in the morning, writing down everything you're grateful for, everything you can think of.
Nope.
There's Shasta.
Sorry, guys. I'm gonna leave some notes for you, like on the post. I just wanted to let you guys know that because it was really on my heart.
Well, thank you, Shasta. Thank you so much for sharing. Does anybody else have any comments or questions? I totally forgot to just open this up for any communication before I stop the recording so other people can hear it. Does anybody have anything? Alrighty. Thanks, ladies. Have a wonderful evening and have a great week. Just go out there and do it, right? See you later.
Thank